We're on the Disney Wonder!
Well, not quite yet.
We're almost on the Disney Wonder!
Hi, my name is Doobie from Laughing Place, and we are here in San Diego on board the beautiful Disney Wonder cruise ship, where we are about to embark on a 4-day cruise to Catalina, Ensenada, Mexico, and a beautiful day at sea. So please join us on this week's edition of Laughing Place on Location. Hi, Mickey! And with that announcement, my 4-night Disney cruise officially began. First off, I want to thank Disney for hosting me and my 17-year-old son on this sailing. It was our first time cruising out of San Diego, something I'll talk more about later, and while this was my 15th Disney cruise overall, it was my first time back aboard the Wonder since 2010. In this video, I'll be taking you along with us as we experience everything the beautiful Disney Wonder has to offer. The kids' clubs are always open on embarkation day for open house, so we always like to check those out. First we went to Edge, which is the tween club located on the pool deck, Deck 9. That's for ages 11 to 14. Then we went to Vibe on Deck 10 for ages 14 to 17, and this is where my son spent most of his time. He absolutely loves his time in Vibe and has loved all the kids' clubs since we started cruising with him when he was only 7 months old. The club for ages 3 to 10 is located on Deck 5 and is actually divided into 2 sections. First is Oceaneer Lab, which you're seeing here, and that skews a little bit older. Then there's this hallway that'll take you to Oceaneer Club, which skews a little younger, and we'll take a closer look at Oceaneer's Club when we come back in here tomorrow. We also took a quick peek into the nursery. This is for ages 6 months to 3 years old, and our 17-year-old Gideon stayed in this very nursery many years ago, which brought back a lot of memories of sailing on the Disney Wonder so long ago. As we headed out, we took a peek into the Buena Vista Theater, which is also on Deck 5, and this is where they show classic and first-run movies. If you've been to the theaters on Disney's newest ships, the enormous size of the Buena Vista Theater might surprise you. We next checked out the adult area called After Hours, which is on Deck 3. And one thing I love about the Disney ships is most areas, if they're not being used for an event, are still open to explore or just hang out in. The Crown and Fin is a pub at night, but during the day they have games like trivia, and in between those you can just hang out and read, play board games, or explore its numerous Easter eggs. And Azure is another large space in the adult area, and remember, unless an event is specifically marked for adults, After Hours is actually available for all ages before 9 p.m. at night. The one exception is the Cadillac Lounge, which is 18 and over at all times. And then it was time to check out our room. So let's take a quick tour of our veranda stateroom here, room 7066. First of all, thank you very much to Disney for giving us the Bon Voyage package. You can see that. It comes with some pillowcases, some cool decor that's actually magnetic, so you can use that at home. Giant towel and a banner. It's the Bon Voyage package. They also gave us some treats over here. But anyway, this is our ocean view stateroom. This actually, we're only 2 of us, but it's me and Gideon, so that will turn into a bed at night. See the artwork over there, and this being the Wonder, one of the classic ships, it's not as Disney IP heavy as the newer ships. These are my Castaway Club gifts: beach towel, wet dry bag, and a tote bag. That's me. There's the television, which does come out in swivel, unlike the newest ships. And then there's the entrance again, and this does have the double bathroom that Disney cruise ships become famous for, one side being a toilet and the other side being a bath shower and a sink in both. So here we are on board the Disney Wonder, stateroom 7066. And I forgot to do the veranda. This is a veranda stateroom. So let's step outside and you can see typical Disney veranda, a couple of chairs and a table. Lovely view, especially here in Port San Diego on the side we're on, because we can see the airport, and there's a Southwest plane coming in for a landing. I'm Doobie of Laughing Place. I love airplanes more than probably anyone you know, and so I'm really enjoying this view. The very popular characters Bluey and Bingo are not yet making appearances on the Wonder. They are on other ships, but our Disney hosts were kind enough to introduce us to them, and that was a lot of fun, getting to meet Bluey and Bingo. And then came the sail away party up on deck 9, which is not something I usually take the time to see anymore. I've seen it a lot, but I did want to take a peek for this video, so here's a little bit of it. And then it was time to actually sail away. Now, my favorite spot for any sail away is on the bow of the ship, and that's where I really fell in love with sailing out of San Diego. First off, when you're docked, your bow is right against the sidewalk. I've never been at a port like that, and it was fascinating. And then we backed out, we turned around and headed out between the San Diego airport on one side and a military airport on the other, with all kinds of aircraft and helicopters taking flight. The scenery is beautiful, both the city and the hills. I just loved it. I stayed on the deck for at least a half hour, 45 minutes as we exited the bay, and could have just stayed there all night. After that, I took the opportunity to visit Deck 4 for the first time of this cruise. It is my favorite place on any Disney cruise ship because that's where I can just relax and watch the water. Then it was dinner time. My son Gideon stayed in Vibe this night, and we had our own table, so I actually dined alone, but our serving team was excellent, kept me company. Thank you so much, Miss Spicy. Our night one restaurant was Triton's, where I had the deep fried brie, the French onion soup, the mushroom pasta, which I forgot to video, and this strawberry shortcake sundae. No complaints about anything. I really, really enjoyed the deep fried brie. So it was fantastic. And that was day one on the Disney Wonder. Good morning, everyone. It is day 2 here aboard the Disney Wonder. It is a day at sea, and these are my favorite days on a Disney cruise. So let's see what happens today. I am an early riser, even on vacation, and one of the benefits of that is you get to see things like this, a completely empty atrium. So if you're an early riser too, make sure to explore the ship. It's a completely different place in the morning. Then it was breakfast time. We're surprised. It was Churro Mickey Waffle Day, and they were as good as advertised. Now, Disney was kind enough to reserve a royal gathering for us. This is actually a completely free activity, but you do need a reservation, and I've just never bothered before, so I'm glad I finally got to try it out. You'll go to the atrium at your designated time and meet 4 princesses. You'll have the chance to talk to them, get an autograph and a picture, and I thoroughly enjoyed my conversations with all 4, especially Princess Tiana. Hello, Tiana. How are you doing?
Oh, marvelous.
It's breathtaking being so close. You're so beautiful.
That's very sweet of you. You enjoying your time so far?
I'm having a fantastic time. Can't wait to eat at your restaurant.
Oh, I was about to say, I can't wait to host you. I haven't seen you.
I haven't been there yet, but I'm coming.
I know you're on a rotational order, but I can't wait for the rotation to send you my way.
Can I ask you a quick?
Yes.
So I know you're the best cook in the world. Do you have any tips for me? I'm just getting started.
Tips? Okay. Well, I say your main ingredient has to be love. Oh. It has to be something you really, really enjoy making. So when you do make it and share it, that it's authentic.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Can I get a picture?
Absolutely. Can I hold your hand?
Oh. Disney was also kind enough to get us a digital photo package, so digital prints of all of the pictures taken by their photographers could be downloaded. We definitely took advantage of that for some great family pictures with the princesses. And here's a look at what the princess gathering looks like from above. We next checked out the shops on board. Now, I'm not much of a shopper, so we didn't spend too much time in there, but I did want to see what Disney Wonder specific merchandise they had, and there was some, not a ton though. And that was it for me and Gideon being together for a while. He went off to Vibe, and I decided to spend a little time on the pool deck. And up there in the adult area, I saw something I've never seen before in all my cruises. It was a display, a zoo of Tao animals. Let's see if I can name any. I am not good at this at all. I think that first one is probably a dog, an elephant, a snake. Wally and Eve, they're adorable. Crab, lobster, kind of, or maybe a walrus, I'm not sure. Then I missed a couple. Alligator. So anyway, hopefully you did better than I did. You can rewind if you want to see them again. Anyway, by then it was getting close to lunchtime, or maybe breakfast number 2 time, I'm not sure. So I made my way across the deck and did one of my favorite things, got something to eat at Cabanas and looked off the back of the ship. Love, love, love looking off the back of the ship.
She's getting ready for the race, and she is crawling. She sees the finish line in sight. She's almost there, and then she stops And then she might think about going the other way, but she changed her mind. She's gonna keep going forward. And then she starts crying because everyone's cheering so loud. And then she makes it all again.
And that is, of course, Jack Jack's Diaper Dash, one of the most popular activities on the cruise, which I watch from above, up on deck 4. It's always so adorable seeing parents trying to coax their kids into a straight line. Cell phones seem to be the best bait these days.
Everyone say hello, Mabel. Mabel, the tables, how the spirits are going to talk to us today. Would anyone like to ask the spirits a question?
Usually I play a lot of trivia on cruises, but this time I wanted to try some different stuff, so I checked out as many games as I could other than trivia, and this one was one of my favorites. And unfortunately, I can't remember the name of it, but it's always played on the French Quarter Lounge. The host asks some of the most random, unknowable questions in the world. Everyone either stands on the yes side or the no side, and those who got it wrong sit down. And this repeats until there's only one winner standing. And they're able to play 4 or 5 rounds in 1 half-hour session. And while I didn't play it all, I really, really enjoyed watching this one and actually came back later in the cruise to watch it again.
Okay. Well, I can reveal that screwdrivers were used to put on armor for knives. That's why they were invented. It was to get the metal armor on. Guys, we're learning fun facts every single question. Look at this.
Another game I enjoyed, and actually I did participate in this one, was Frozen Phrases in D Lounge. In this one you had to get the person sitting to try to guess a phrase, basically $25,000 pyramid, and I enjoyed watching and playing this one very much as well.
Go on, keep going.
What you said when you have rain?
Palo.
Yes.
My favorite snack is salt and rice.
Salt and rice.
White rice. Or your barbecue.
Smells okay.
Okay, what's around the...
What I love about these participation games is you just never know what you're going to see. This game is called Heard That, and the little boy you see here was absolutely hilarious, so outgoing, and he just made the whole game so much fun. He was a standout, actually, for the entire cruise. And then it was time for some relaxation up in the adult area. I actually got into the jacuzzi here and talked to some other guests. Really had a nice relaxing time in there for about an hour. And then back to my favorite spot on the ship, of course, Deck 4, to watch a beautiful sunset off the coast of Mexico. This was really, really nice. Then it was game time again, and this game, back in D Lounge, is kind of like the Newlywed Game, but for families. They try to get a parent and a child, but there weren't that many kids here, so one of the pairs was 2 best friends, and they were pretty awesome, and it's just a fun game.
Okay, coming over here.
Make John.
Tell me, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Teleportation was mine as well.
Teleportation. So you could teleport anywhere you want to go in the world?
Yeah.
Good choice. Let's turn that board around. We said, stop time. That's not a match, unfortunately. But were you also thinking teleportation or not at all?
Nope.
No.
Dinner on day 2 was at Animator's Palate, where I had the butternut squash soup and an entree-sized order of the black truffle pasta percettes. These percettes are well known for being a love it or hate it item on the cruise, and I am squarely in the love it category. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've been eating these since my first cruise back in 2006. Dessert was the lemon icebox pie, and I'm very happy that Gideon actually decided to leave Vibe for a while and come join me for dinner on this night. We really, really loved Miss Spicy. She said that's what everyone calls her, Miss Spicy. Animator's Palate is very well known on the classic ships for everything in the restaurant changing from black and white to color throughout the meal. And while the effect is not done to the same extent in the same way it was in the ship's early days, it's still a lot of fun to watch and enjoy as you eat. And as your meal comes to a close, it's time for the finale.
Rise in the sky. What if it's not everything I dreamed it would be?
I love it so much when the servers dance and clap and march around the restaurant. So much fun. And I'm so happy Gideon came down to dine with me at this restaurant because he now calls Animator's Palate his favorite restaurant in the world. And that was day 2 on the Disney Wonder. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of our cruise on the Disney Wonder. Today we are at Santa Catalina Island off the coast of California. We're actually going to be getting off the boat today to do a bison expedition. And then later on tonight, we're doing Palo. So it's going to be a fun day. Please join us. Every trip to the Oceaneer Club starts with that amazing automatic hand washing machine. Why don't they have those everywhere? So our day 2 started here where Disney arranged an exclusive open house for us at the Oceaneer Club. As mentioned before, this club is for ages 3 to 10. It features a lot of themed play areas including Frozen, Mickey and Minnie's Captain's Deck for the littlest ones, and a Toy Story area including a slide. So let's visit Andy's room where Gideon was willing to take us up to the top level to show us areas us grown-ups will probably never get to see for ourselves. Even the bathrooms are cool here, and there are those cool hand washing machines again. They also have a Marvel room here with lots of details to discover if you've got a Marvel fan, a young Marvel fan in your family, and it also has an interactive area, as you can see Gideon demonstrating here. Right after that, Disney arranged for our group to take the Art of the Theme tour of the Disney Wonder. This tour is available to everyone. No reservations required. Just check the app for the times and meeting location. And it's a great introduction to the Imagineering that went into creating the ship. Here you can see our wonderful guide is pointing out some of the details in the Crown and Fin pub.
And then we have some newspapers over here from Mr. Toad's, Great Muppet Caper, and Great Mouse Detective.
I really enjoy this tour. I take it almost every cruise I go on, no matter how many times I've taken it before, even on that same ship.
This is my little closing statement. So Michael Eisner, who was a former CEO of the Disney Company, of Walt Disney Company, he was once asked, what do you think Walt would think of the company today, especially the cruise ships? And he answered along the lines of, well, to be on a ship in the middle of the ocean on a star-filled night is as close to magic as you can get. I'm not sure if this is what Walt Disney imagined for the company, but I sure hope it is.
After the tour, Gideon and I had breakfast at Cabana's, then he went off to Vibe while I did pretty much nothing until it was time for our bison expedition on Catalina. However, Mother Nature had other ideas, as by the afternoon the wind had really picked up and Disney had to cancel all further tenders to the island. So it ended up that we did not get off the ship and we were not able to do our expedition, but here are a few pictures of what it would have looked like. Luckily, I had the best consolation prize in the world, as Disney had arranged dinner at Palo. Since I was traveling with a minor and Palo is adults only, I dined with another solo adult guest and 2 Disney publicists, and it was a fantastic dinner as always. Palo, in its various forms on the Disney fleet, is probably my favorite restaurant in the entire world. Palo dinner always starts with a small potato gnocchi and a mushroom sauce to get you started. I ordered the caprese for my salad. Just look at that balsamic vinegar, so yummy. I followed that up with the soft potato gnocchi and the agnolotti, pardon my Italian. All were absolutely excellent. I'd like to name a favorite one, but I honestly can't. So good. And while I'm a vegetarian, which you may have noticed by now, one of the highlights for me was watching our server fillet the piquant Dover sole right by our table.
And then
After dinner and before dessert, we got a treat that not even Disney could have arranged. We went outside on the deck and watched a spacecraft launch from Central California pass overhead. And I've seen a lot of launches, including space shuttles, when I was living in Central Florida. I've never seen anything quite like this. I don't know if it was the lack of light, being in the middle of the ocean, or what it was, but it looked like a jellyfish flying through the night sky, and it was amazing. As amazing as dessert? Probably not. This is Palo's signature dessert, the chocolate souffle. Enjoy.
I got it. I can smell it in the camera can smell
And
it.
I'm gonna put the dark chocolate sauce and the vanilla bean sauce together on it.
I know.
Let it settle down, and I'm gonna put the vanilla bean gelato in it, and then the chocolate sauce.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
After dinner, I rolled myself back to my room. I was welcomed by the traditional Pirates Night towel animal. I eventually ordered room service, not because I was hungry, but because I just love to order room service, and I settled into Empire Strikes Back on the television until I fell asleep.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 4, our final full day on board the Disney Wonder today. We are in Ensenada, Mexico. We will not be getting off the ship today, but we will be enjoying everything the ship has to offer, including brunch at Palo. So join us on this final full day on the Disney Wonder.
Our day 4 started with a private meeting with Captain Mickey himself. Thank you, Disney, for arranging this for our group. Then, after watching Gideon eat breakfast, I headed off for the back-to-back. That's right, the day after Palo dinner, I had an early Palo brunch. And as much as I enjoy dinner, Palo brunch is, without a doubt, my favorite meal ever. This one was interesting because it was my first time eating at Palo by myself. It's so easy to fill up on the yummy pastries and bread, but I did my best not to. My entrees were a poached egg on an English muffin, so runny and yummy. Then I had a pizza, which was half goat cheese and sun-dried tomato, half grape and gorgonzola, the secret pizza. And finally, I had the wild mushroom ravioli. My dessert was a sticky bun and this vanilla berry panna cotta, which I got on the recommendation of my server, and it was the single best thing I had the entire cruise. So listen to your servers, everyone. Following brunch, I wandered aimlessly around the ship, enjoying the beautiful weather and the beautiful views. Then I headed to the French Quarter Lounge, where I got my one and only purchase during the cruise, a smoothie, which I did enjoy. I checked out another game in Azure, this one called Cogsworth Countdown. It's kind of like Minute to Win It. It wasn't my favorite, but the young kids in the audience did really seem to enjoy it. I also watched the Quantum of the Seas Royal Caribbean ship leave port, which was awesome because I just love watching cruise ships. One of my favorite parts of cruising is being able to see other cruise ships so close. Then a little more wandering around on deck 4, and finally, I listened to some music in the French Quarter Lounge before dinner. Dinner on night 4 was in Tiana's Place, which is a new restaurant for me. It was added to the Disney Wonder in 2016. And you can guess what the theme is in here. Obviously, New Orleans, both in atmosphere and in cuisine. And Tiana is on hand, along with a live band to provide entertainment. I had the honey roasted butternut squash and Eudora's artichoke ravioli. Both were quite good. Gideon did join me here, and the wonderful Miss Spicy asked him if he wanted the same steak he got at Animator's Palate, which he loves so much. So, of course, he said yes, and then when he finished, she asked if he wanted another. So Gideon ate very, very well on night 4. Of course, being Tiana's Place, Tiana is on hand. She does make her way around the restaurant and talks to every table.
Hello.
To
How are you?
my future business owner, I'm doing wonderful.
I am doing fantastic. You make some of the best food I've ever had.
Is that my mama's pasta over there?
It is, yes.
That's
And
what the clean plate looks like.
I loved it very, very
How
much.
about you, my friend? You enjoy your meal so far?
Yes, very much.
And what have you been up to? What's your favorite thing you've done on your trip?
Princess Tiana also remembered us from the Princess Gathering 2 days ago, which I just found so impressive and cool. I believe I got the pecan nut tart for dessert, but the dessert was really the entertainment at Tiana's place. Another chance to see our servers dance and march around the room, and this time they got the guests involved too, with limbo, and it was such a party, so much fun. This restaurant is just a blast. After dinner, it was time for Till We Meet Again, the goodbye show in the atrium. And one of my fondest memories of my first cruise back in 2006 was the Till We Meet Again show on the final night on the Disney Magic. It was so emotional for all of us. We went on that cruise having no idea if cruising was going to be for us. And by the end, having not only enjoyed the activities, but really connecting with the cast members, it really felt like saying goodbye. But we knew we would indeed meet again.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. See you real soon, Captain. It's been a pleasure.
I personally think Walt Disney would be very, very pleased with the magic created on the Disney Cruise Line.
Join us next week as Laughing Place On Location travels to New York to tour the New Amsterdam Theater.